Islanders, welcome back to another warrior boat video and another shark related video. Today's video, I'm going to talk about my shark adventures this summer, where we're up to, where I plan on going, and do I still believe there could be great white sharks in these British waters. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what the science is saying, what's happened this year. But first, I've done a few speed tests on the tiny inflatable. I haven't officially done one on this boat. I have had 31 knots out of this boat. Today's conditions are not conducive to a top speed test, so we'll give it a quick go. I haven't got loads of fuel. It's approaching the end of the season now and the boat will be coming out of the water soon, taken out of the water today. So let's just see how that goes. A quick speed test and then we'll get talking about the sharks. Let's go. I use this app called Boat Speed. It's like GPS, it's pretty accurate. A bit lumpy today. I'd be surprised if we get over 25, but we'll see. When it's like this, I struggle to get on the plane. But who dares wins and all. So the wind is blowing that way, so we're going to spin her around and I'll go for it. All right, boys, start your engines. So about 2 knots right now. Just checking the bay. The bay is fully clear. There's nobody in it. Safety first and all that. You don't want to be knocking a paddleboarder off or anything such like. It's looking pretty good. Right, so currently doing 6 knots. I'm going to spin it around and we'll go full send up the other side of the bay. I do like these warriors, they're so nimble. Right, that's 5 knots, 10 knots, 15, 21, 23, bit of a trim on, 25, I think that might be it, is it? 27. If you've ever wondered what a 25-year-old 60 horsepower two-stroke can do in a bit of a lump on, 27 knots, which is the equivalent of this many miles an hour I'll put on the screen. Yeah, not bad. Right, let's get talking about sharks before I bring it in, because conditions are getting a little bit worse. We've got some weather rolling in. Camera on, let's talk sharks. All right. Okay guys, so first things first, I have been out chumming 20 plus times from the island. I've gone out as far as 5 miles. I didn't want to push out any further because of the age of my engine. Sure, I've got pretty much a brand new auxiliary engine, but I wouldn't get back. It would take me hours to get back on that from that sort of distance. So that's why I haven't explored too far out. If you look the other day, I think a few miles off Cornwall, decent sized poor beagle was caught. I'd love to see a poor beagle or a mako. There's plenty of makos between here and Wales, but I need to go out about 10, maybe 15 miles. I've got loads of safety gear, personal locator beacons, radios. I just don't have the engine for the job. Have I seen anything while out chumming? No, not really. We've seen a couple of small dogfish cane off some of the bait, but nothing has come up. I haven't even seen dolphins. But I do believe that this year, weather-wise, certainly here on the island, we had 2 good weeks of weather in June, and then it's been horrendous between June and now, which is September. There's been like the odd little day here. Even now, it's really windy. So sea conditions have just not been ideal for going far. I think the currents have been quite choppy, so it's been taking my chum slick quite far away and dispersing it, whereas if you've got nice calm seas with just a little bit of tide, it's great for running a slick off the back of the boat. Any sharks that come into that slick will obviously therefore come in. You know, I've got the rods and reels. We've been out trying to catch taupe a couple of times with no joy, but there are plenty of taupe in these waters. Honing in on that, I've had some really good advice on Instagram and from YouTube comments from you guys, so I do appreciate that. Check that out. The rainbow is on Lexi. Beautiful. So, do I think great white sharks are in these waters? Of course, I've done an entire series of this, discussing in detail about water temperature, food sources. So, we have some of the largest seal colonies in Europe, certainly in Scotland. So, I don't see why we wouldn't have big sharks up there. We've had a few seals wash up locally. We've got a few seal colonies here. Water temperatures, today's water temperature is 17.6 degrees Celsius. well within optimal range. Common misconception, British waters are too cold for sharks, certainly great white sharks. The coldest great white shark attack on record was Campbell Island, which is south of New Zealand, in 6 degrees Celsius water, and the person who had his arm bitten off has actually commented on one of my videos saying it was quite an accurate depiction of what actually happened. So we're certainly not too cold here, that's for sure. That weather is absolutely coming this way. So we've got the food, the sea temperature's fine. Great whites are quite a rare shark globally. There's only certain places in the world, sorry, I'm trying to get out of the weather. There's only certain places in the world where they're flourishing right now, and that's California and New Zealand. South Africa, because of the orcas, again, absolutely hammered. Now, we do have orcas in Britain. In fact, some orcas came past the island last week. They were spotted in Dublin, and then they were spotted about 4 miles off the island, going up the coast past Port Erin. Now, I'd love to see them. I don't believe the orcas in Scotland pose a threat to any white sharks coming in our waters. Orcas learn behaviours, so the 2 orcas down South Africa that are absolutely smashing the great whites, they've obviously learned that somewhere. It's a skill that they have that other orca pods don't necessarily have. Same with the orcas that are attacking boats down in sort of the peninsulas of Spain. The orcas in Scotland are seen often around yachts and boats. They've never attempted to attack one, so I do believe these are behaviours learned in pods. Some believe it's like a revenge thing. Well, there you go. So where am I going to go from here? So the answer is yes, I do believe great whites come into our waters, whether they're coming through the North Atlantic, mature, or whether they're juveniles that come up through the Bay of Biscay. Closest ever sighting on record, 177 miles from England. Sharks don't have passports and there's no border control. There's no reason why they don't come this far. So yeah, anyway, check out the entire series because I've just waffled over most of it there, but it goes into a lot more detail. I test out sea temperatures, I talk about the food sources in detail, talk about the sightings, attacks, although take that what you will in British waters, it's shark-related incidents basically. These waters are perfectly safe, promise you. Even if there are great whites, look at the Malibu artists filming great whites feet from paddleboarders every day in California. You're absolutely safe here, and I would be absolutely overjoyed to see one. I'm going to get in before this weather gets any worse, but before I do, myself in the game, expedition-wise, I need to go further offshore. You know, there was 4.5 metre swordfish spotted off the island, bluefin tuna, but this is all like 5 to 10 miles out. I need to get out there. We trialled a seal decoy camera this year, commonly seen on the likes of the Shark Week documentaries, had a GoPro attached. These are great for breaches, so you never know. The underwater submarine capable of 100 metres. We had a good search of the ocean floor on several occasions. You know, we used the fish finders, mostly just came across jellyfish. But just because the main boat's coming out, we've still got the soft hull inflatable, the little sib, that's going to be awesome over the winter. I get asked a lot, do I still think O-Search are coming here? To be honest, no. I really don't now, but I get the impression they just don't have the money or the funds. Great if they would, you know, they are professionals. And I know, yes, O-Search are linked to SeaWorld and etc, but they are doing fantastic things in relation to shark tagging, so it would be great to see them here. But, you know, the price of things at the moment, bloody hell. Think how much things have hiked here in the UK over the last, certainly 2 years. I don't know if it's viable for them to bring that large ship across now. Obviously, if I do hear anything, I'll update you guys on the Chris Fisher thing and the O-Search expedition. If I can remember rightly, they said it costs about $25,000, $30,000 a day to run their boat. So you would want to hope that if I've been out here 20 times, you know, and seeing nothing, yes, I'm not doing anything compared to what they'd be doing, but yeah, this has cost me just fuel really, and a bit of labour to get my boat ready. And the satisfaction of getting this boat ready has been phenomenal. I love it. Bit of a challenge ahead. I've never trailered this boat out of the water myself. It lives on the mooring, but as we're approaching sort of at the end of the season here, I need to take it out today. So stay tuned for the shenanigans of that, hey? Pulled up to the slip, jumped out, tied off the bow and the stern to the slip, reversed the trailer down, which wasn't the easiest because of my van size, then winched her in, which was pretty easy to do actually, serviced that winch, nicely oiled up. And there she is. Look how green that thing is at the bottom from being sat on the mooring, only since April. Righto. We're back in. First time I've ever trailered the boat in and out myself, and it was a bit challenging. If you've never reversed trailers before, it's a bit of a mission. So let's have a skeet. As you can see, she's minging underneath from being sat on the mooring. all summer, but I've got this Starbright cleaner that's going to clean that. I'm going to jet wash this shortly. Quick appraisal of the boat. I refurbed the winch. Brilliant, worked no problem. New jockey wheel. Lubricated the hitch. All the rollers have been lubricated. These bearings have been fully greased. They're a type of bearing that's pressurized so water doesn't get in. So they're in great condition. New bearings, new wheels. But other than that, the trailer's looking pretty good. Quite happy with that. The boat itself, this year the windows have worked fantastic. Obviously rewired the boat completely. Bit disappointed I didn't get to camp on the boat this year, but anyone in Britain will know our summer has been pretty crap really. August and July were terrible weather. I had 6 weeks of training courses in the UK, landlocked. So next year is going to be a better year. I will be flushing the engines and winterising them. This boat is plenty capable to take me where I want to go, but I need a new engine. If you have a look at John's boat here, that's a Warrior 165 Mark II. Now I've been informed the Mark II's hull is exactly the same, but he's got a modern Suzuki engine. So I need to put a modern engine on mine or buy a new boat. I've mentioned this before, if a decent Mark II Warrior comes up for sale, I'll buy it. But to be fair, nostalgia wise, I've pretty much done everything to this boat other than the engine, and she is mint, rewired, new windows. The hull is actually in great shape. It doesn't look it right now because it needs a clean, but that is as capable as anything that I'd be buying. There's my sea kayak, just sat there. She needs a clean. Everything's going to get a clean shortly, fully lubricated. That's not even done 1 hour, that thing. So I'll be keeping that even if I do get a new boat. And there's the other boat. There's the Sib. This is a great cover, by the way. I'll put a link on the description box because I get asked quite a lot, how do I protect it? I've been leaving it inflated, but the beauty of these Sib, they're just so versatile. Deflate them, chuck them in the van. Job's a good one. But for sharking adventures, it's got to be this one. If I'm going sharking, I need a proper boat. This 16.5 foot boat has got me 5+ miles out at sea, and it will take me a lot further. I could go to Whitehaven on this thing, no problem. But I just don't trust the engine because it's 25 years old. But plenty of sharking, but no sharks. But like I say, a long-term project, the shark stuff. Who knows what we're going to find? Orcas is the plan. You know, once I get a new engine, we're heading to Scotland. Maybe if some of you guys want me to come down Cornwall, I'll come down there. We'll see. We'll see how we get on. I was hoping to see more sharks this year, but we didn't. And that's just the nature of it. And I think that's personally down to the weather and just luck and me not going far enough offshore for the mission at hand. But Charlie Boy, named after my beautiful dog, who's sadly no longer with us, has done well. And there we go, guys. Look at that. Look at that. This stuff is actually pretty good. I was quite skeptical of this hull cleaner because it's quite expensive, but there's no denying she's done a great job. Top tip though, make sure you cover your trailer up though, because this stuff will eat your trailer alive, or rinse it off. But as you can see from what she looked like when she came out of the water to now, that's very impressive, to be fair. So did a couple of other little jobs. Engine's been flushed, electronics have been taken out, drain plug's been taken out, and I lifted the boat up to drain her out. It's been fully cleaned, everything's winterized. Stunning thing. So there you go, guys. 25 years old, still going strong. If you look after something, it'll look after you. Really pleased with how she's gone this year. Thanks for joining me. I'll update you with what I do, whether I buy a new boat, put a new engine on it, or who knows. We'll continue with the sharking, but there we go. Cheers, guys. I'm going to get me mooring ropes out now. Job's a good one. All the best.